Well, good morning, Ben. How's it going, Lucy? Hi. So, we are here at 406 Garage because Ben told me he found the perfect rig for us to road trip 1,000 miles down to Utah for the Matt's Off-Road Recovery Wrecker Games. He sent me pictures. He gave me all the specs on it, and it is like perfect.
This is going to be the worst video ever. Starting it.
No! Why would you say those things? Oh, that's the great thing about this place is I come here like regularly, like all the time. And there's always different vehicles here. So what you see one time is not what there will be the next time, which is why I'm looking at everything before. I'm like, even if none of these are like perfect, that's gonna change within a month.
I mean,
it did.
I mean, I feel like the cowboy truck's like the perfect truck to take, but that's just my opinion.
I wouldn't be mad at that.
I wouldn't either. Super reliable, super simple, has no electronics, has four-wheel drive, it's a manual transmission, it's a pickup truck, it has a tow hitch so we can drag something home.
And we can put my camper in the back so that I can sleep while you drive.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that.
Well, let's go see this one you got.
Kevin's in here too, so you're gonna have to be nice. He may not like the camera. I didn't ask him that.
I don't like the camera, I still film me.
Let's see how much he...
There. Tell me stories, Ben.
What do you...
What is it? I see stickers right there that are not international.
Yeah. Okay, so... Okay, I'll tell you what it is. We'll start with that. It's 1972 International 1210 3/4 ton Travelette, which is a crew cab, and it's a short box, but it's a service bed, which we all know how much you and I like service beds.
Correct.
They're the best. It has a early style 12 valve Cummins motor. It's intercooled, but it's the early, so it's a rotary pump. NV4500. 241 case off the NV4500, divorced to a 205 case, so dual cases. More on that later. It has 4-inch lift springs all the way around, single shocked, 37s, 456 gears. It has a Detroit in the rear and it's open in the front. And it's set up now with the bump. We just put the buck stop bumper on the front, and they built a rear bumper for it, the previous owner. And we're going to put dual Apex 12,000 pound winches on it with Yankum Rope synthetic line and Yankum Rope fair leads on them.
And the best part is, well, not the best part, but a bonus. It's the same color yellow, and it's an international as Matt's new world's largest off-road wrecker. So we could call this the world's largest off-road wrecker support rig since it matches so well. And it's got 4 doors so that I can nap while you drive.
Yep.
And Lucy, she can sit up front.
Everything points to it being the right decision.
You hold up. The excitement when he was calling me and telling me about this thing and sending me pictures and text messages nonstop. And right now, what the hell's going on? I thought it was you walk in here and you're like, let's go for a ride, hop in. And
listen, when I picked
you seem down right now.
When I picked it up, I was at 11 tenths, and then I looked it over and I went down to like
Lucy's laying down
and
right
I went
now.
down to like 3 tenths.
Oh man. So are we not driving this, or are we scrambling to be able to drive this?
We have another week to make that determination.
Okay, well.
And Kevin is here all week, so we will see. There's a lot of...
That's the only hope of this actually happening, is that Kevin is here.
MacGyver is here.
Yes.
Literally MacGyver.
That's Kevin.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of more on that laters, and we'll talk about thises and stuff like that in that whole little thing you just said.
Yes.
I see 2 transfer cases.
Mm-hmm.
Are they connected?
Yes, but the driveline that connects them is out of phase. Meaning...
Yeah.
The explanation of that is when you put a driveline together,
it's all messed
the
up.
yokes have to be in phase, otherwise it goes like this. Well,
Yeah.
they're 180 out, so it's just shakes. And the transfer case that was installed in this is a 241 from presumably a Jeep or something like that. And instead of putting on the output yoke that you would put on for a diesel, which is a 1410, they left the 1310 U-joint that's like this big
For a Jeep.
for a Jeep.
But it's now it's got a
Now it's got a 400
Cummins
horse 12 valve with
Cummins on 37s and a full-size utility
So
truck.
that will be the first thing that breaks.
Yes.
Okay, so there's that. Goes to the 205. The 205.
Man, you're really bringing me down right now.
The 205.
I was just excited about this as you were.
Well, you started asking, so I'm start telling. The 205 normally on these trucks mounts about right here, down the frame underneath. Comes off with an intermediate shaft from the transmission, and then it has a front drive line and a rear drive line. Well, because they added the extra case, they decided they would just take the 205 and move it back 18 inches further. So now the rear drive line is shorter.
So you have a little rear drive line.
Right, which is okay.
Hi, Lucy.
But
Hi.
then to make the
Hi.
front drive line, make the front drive line work, you're going to have to have
a carrier bearing in the middle because it's
C-
going to be 400 feet long.
or a CV and a carrier, and that brings about a whole other thing because they made these rock sliders for it, which they look cool on appearance, but the way that they mounted them was two by two tubes all the way across with just some little baby bolts.
Which are totally going to be in the way of the drive line.
Of the drive line.
Yes. What the heck? It's almost hitting right now at ride height.
Yes.
What's going to happen when it droops?
We already found out. My opinion in looking at this, and Kevin looking at this more and more, it was all mocked up in place, and then it needed to be finished so that it could be driven. It was told to me that it was finished other than some things, but it was really in the mock-up stage. So now we're undoing everything.
So now you're unmocking it up so they actually
Right.
build it?
Right. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And so we're going to try and do 60 days worth of work in 12 days.
Good thing you have a Kevin.
If I didn't have a Kevin, we would just not even be talking about it. It would just
Just shove it off into the
we'd just
pile
push it
over
in the
there.
back and leave it till next winter.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, there's a myriad of other stuff. There's not a single gauge on the dash that works. The grid heater doesn't work. The headlights didn't work. The marker lights didn't work. It didn't have a front bumper, which was told to me, which I knew that.
So this is not far off from when I bought my black sneaker truck
Oh, dude, this
and
is
was
like-
told all about
This
like
is a carbon copy of what happened to you with that truck.
drive it anywhere, no problem. It's spotless, flawless, everything. Here's all these pictures that show it just immaculate. By the way, about half the pictures I got of my other truck before I bought it, sight unseen, were actually of a completely different truck. Because if I go look back in those pictures, like, oh, there's this little mark on the dash right here. How come it's not on my truck's dash? It's a different truck. So, yeah, this is seeming very familiar, which means I feel your pain right now.
It's been expensively painful so far.
Yeah, same.
I just keep going to the parts store every day.
I spent more in repairs and fixes to that black truck in the first 2 months of owning it as I have on my 04 Silver Dodge in 100,000 miles of owning it. Yeah. But it looks super cool.
Totally does. Now here, the silver lining to this whole thing. Here's the silver lining. The back bumper is really good, by the way.
I like it.
They did a
Yep.
good job. It's got good toe points. It's mounted in multiple places. It has grade 8.
That's
bolts.
good.
This right here, Kevin and I both agree, they did a great job on this. They really did. It's nicely done. So the silver lining, that's for the rear winch.
Where's the mounts?
You bolt it in.
Oh, it's going to be a face mount?
It's going to mount that way.
Okay.
The control box will be back there, and it's a wireless apex, so you just have
Oh, yeah.
a winch. You won't have to have any. All you need is power.
So it's a face mount and it comes straight out the bottom.
and power and ground, and that's it.
Yeah.
So the silver lining to this whole thing
Is you got a cool bumper.
is the sum of the parts, meaning all the parts that are here are good. It was just the execution of putting the parts to the truck where they dropped the ball. And
So in dollar value in parts that are here and what you paid, you're like,
no.
no?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, we won't go there then.
No. But that's irrelevant now because
Because you own it.
the seller has the money and I have the truck, so that doesn't really matter anymore.
Huh. So what you're saying is, what we're going to drive for our 1,000-mile road trip to the record
It's a
games
complete mystery.
is still totally up in the air.
Yep.
So, rock slider mount is a straight piece of 2x2 square tube all the way across, right out to, wait, why is there a cut and a weld to go up on the other side?
We don't know. And why is this drive line sitting on the cross member now?
Oh man. So basically what we're getting at, we've talked a lot about this and our options. What we're getting at here is there's going to be a mad scramble in this shop.
But wait, there's more. Look at the leaf spring bolt brackets right here. Look at how straight those are. And then look in there with the light where the purchase is supposed to be welded to the axle tube, but they just welded these tabs on the outside because they couldn't find the right part to bolt on there. And never mind the old stock one that they just left on here and didn't bother to cut off when they put the new one on. Or the remnants of the torch from the shock mounts that used to be here. We didn't bother to grind that off either. We'll just leave that. That'll be for the next person to worry about.
Which is you.
Which is me.
So,
actually, it's Kevin right now.
Yeah, it's Kevin. As I was saying, we've talked about a lot of options, and we have no idea which one we're going at this point. But there's going to be some scrambling going on this, because this is what we want to take. This is the ideal goal. But you see our dilemma.
Long ways away from the goal line.
To be continued.